Steve Suarez with RJ Grand Plumbing. Joining me in studio today is Brian Drafke with Metropolitan Industries out of Romeoville. He is a rep for both Navi and Tankless water heaters and ion pump systems. I'm glad to have Brian in because tankless water heaters are one of the most popular products out there now, most talked about, and the one with the most information regarding them as well. And also, on today's show, coming up at our 12:20 break, we will welcome Debbie Luscombe from State Farm. Her office is located in Homer Glen. Before I say hi to Mr. Drafke, I want to wish my mother a very, very, very happy birthday. She's ageless and awesome as usual, and I'm saying that because it is November and Christmas is coming up and I want cool stuff. So I am a materialistic weasel. No, I love my mom. So happy birthday, Mom. Love you. Brian, good to have you on.
Hello, how are you?
All right. We are going to talk tankless water heaters. Now, we have I see it all over social media. I install them all the time. I love Navian. That's my number one brand that I like to put on. Big fan of them. And I have my opinion as an installer. You as a rep have another idea or another opinion of it because you deal with them. Now, my opinion as an installer with them is I see a lot of the information that is out there regarding people's opinions I don't want to say their opinions, information that they got from somebody regarding their unit or somebody had one installed and whatever. And 95%, maybe even a little bit higher, of the issues that are with these units are due to two things I always say, and that is installation and sizing.
Well, that's a constant thing with every...
Okay. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties with you, with Brian here.
Switch microphones?
Yeah. Switch microphones over there.
Earpiece too?
No, you're good on that.
How's that?
Okay, we're going to see if we get him over here because his mic wasn't working. Okay.
Is that working now?
We got you.
There we go.
Okay. Sorry about that, everyone.
Now, what was the question again?
My experience or some of the stuff that I've seen as far as the things that are talked about on social media, a lot of the information I get from homeowners and people talking about it were they're things that they've heard about them and a lot of those issues, and we'll go into those issues a little bit more detail, but a lot of them are due to sizing and installation issues. Like, well, I'm not getting enough hot water. It takes longer to get there. Things like that to top up, just off the top of my head.
That's pretty much the common thing with any manufacturer out there is installation issues and also the misconception of what they do.
Right.
And your tank water heater, you turn on a faucet, you get water right away. It may not be hot, it may take a couple seconds, but on a lot of the tankless units, there are certain things that have to happen before you get hot water. Water flow, then ignition, flame, all that kind of stuff, and then the water comes. So it could take a little bit longer to get hot water, a couple more seconds.
Right, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not that much different. I mean, really.
You'd be surprised on how many people say that.
Yeah.
Depending on the manufacturer. Navian, it's less than about a half a gallon a minute to start the unit up.
Right.
So it's the fastest reacting tankless out there.
Yeah.
One of the other things is recirculation lines, which we can get into that later.
Right.
Too. Everybody thinks when you put in a tankless water heater, you turn the faucet on, you got instant hot water. That's not the case.
No, but you didn't have that with a tank water heater.
No.
So
but everybody has that misconception of instant hot water.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're not going to get that. I mean, the way I describe it when I'm talking to homeowners is when you open that box, because it's a box that mounts on the wall. It's not a tank.
Correct.
It's a box that mounts on the wall. When you open up that box, all you see what looks like is wires, control boards, tubes, things like that. Mm-hmm. And I've had customers go, okay, well, I'm just going to put this right back on because I have no idea what I'm looking at. Because it almost looks like your old tower hard drives that you had for your computers.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, years ago, I'm dating myself. But when you take them apart, people don't realize that all this stuff that's happening, sensor in there. As soon as you turn on that faucet, there's that sensor in there that's like, okay, we've got water. You've got the control board that is directing traffic. It's talking to people. It's saying, okay, here's what we've got. We've got a sense of water. Okay, we're sending water in there, sending it up to the burners. Burners like, okay, the exit sensor is saying, what's my temperature? Okay, what are we calling for? I need it to be 120. Okay, I need it to be 120. It's not coming out at 120 yet. I need burners kicking on. Let's get this thing going. Let's get this water heated, and it has to get to 120 before it leaves.
Correct.
So what happens is if this isn't sized correctly, and tell me if because you rep these. I install these. Tell me if I'm doing this right. And if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm doing it wrong off the air so I don't sound like an idiot. But basically it's if you turn on all the water in the house, because it's gauging flow rate.
Correct.
Your flow rate, it's registering how many gallons per minute are coming through.
Correct.
So say you got all the water in the house. So your demand is, you got a 9.5 gallon per minute unit, and your demand on everything in the house with all the hot got you at like say 11. Water's going to start trickling.
Oh yeah, it'll cut down the pressure just to maintain temperature.
Because that sensor at the end, I call it the quality control guy. Mm-hmm. He's basically saying, I don't care how much water you run. You can run all the water in the world. You're not leaving my area until you're 120.
Correct.
That's what it's designed to do. Mm-hmm. So when people think about these, and you compare it to a tank, like a water heater. When you compare the hot water with a tank, you could turn on all the water. You'll have hot water.
Oh yeah, every fixture, same pressure
for a little while.
Maybe 5-10 minutes when you get everything on in the house,
and then it's done. Yeah. With the tank water heater or tankless water heater, if you dial back in the pressure, or not the pressure, but the fixtures to what you're actually going to use, normal usage, not, because very rarely do you have all the water on in the house. But if you, put it to where you gauge it to your fixture count, not your fixture count, but your flow of the fixtures that you have, mm-hmm. Like say if you have your showers are 2.5 gallons per minute, you can run, 3 showers and you'll be fine.
2 showers.
Exactly. So
depending on incoming water temperature too.
Exactly. That's another variable that we'll kind of get into too. But if you understand that and you realize, okay, I have enough water to do as many showers as I want.
No.
I can run 3 showers back to back.
Oh yeah.
That's what I mean. I mean, you can run as many showers as you want back to back. You can do laundry. You have unlimited water to run everything back to back, not unlimited water at one time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you have unlimited water, not at the time, but you can run and continue to run because you'll never run out of hot water. You can do laundry after those 3 showers. You can, give the kids a bath after those 3 showers. You can, you can run endless loads of laundry after that. It's just you're not going to. You're limited on your flow.
You can turn a shower on for 10 hours and it'll stay at 120 degrees.
Exactly. Exactly. You just get a high water bill, or not high water bill and a heating bill.
Yeah, heating bill too.
But
with a tank, you can't do that.
No, you'll lose it, and then you're still going to have cold water because it's never going to recover because you'll have the water running.
Right.
So, understanding what you have there will give you an idea of what you want it to do. Understanding what you want it to do and mm-hmm. what it's going to give you will help you decide if this is the best option for you.
Right.
And I think they're the best option out there. That's just my opinion.
That's the way the world's going.
But some houses, not every house can have them because of just the way they're designed, the way it's laid out. I mean, it may just... And I mean, you could put anything anywhere. It just means it may be more cost effective not to. It may be more cost prohibitive, I should say, mm-hmm. to do it in certain houses. I've run into a couple of them that were, you can do it, but you're going to do a lot of demolition to get it mm-hmm. it where you need it to. But as far as that, I mean, they're a great product. I love them to death. And going through it, and as far as, like I said, misconceptions on it is, cold spots, which they used to have cold spots before. And you want to talk about?
Well, Navien has always had a buffer tank, we'll call it,
right.
or storage tank inside of it that actually holds hot water, so you don't get that cold water sandwiching. And
right.
For people out there that don't know what it is when you turn the hot on, you'll get hot water. And then if you turn it off for a second and you turn it back on, well, that firing order that it has to go through, flow sensor,
right, exactly.
Stuff like that, you get a slug of cold water that would come through. And if somebody got into the shower, then got out and the next person gets in, they may see that cold slug of water come through on it, where Navien doesn't have that. It's got that buffer tank in there that'll actually, it pulls from that first, so you never get that slug of cold water.
Right,
which is great.
Now, did they always have that, or did they add that?
Yes, as long as I've been with them.
Okay.
I think we've been with them 10, 12 years now with Navien.
Okay.
And the technology just keeps getting better and better and better over the years.
Well, that's the thing I love about these units, is the fact that they keep getting better. They keep changing. They keep getting they keep advancing, and they're just making them better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the units that I install, they have the internal recirculating pump. Now, those are pretty cool, but they do have the internal where you can set it for internal recirculating.
Correct.
It's not as effective as the external one, but it does.
The internal is for the buffer tank.
Okay.
On it, which keeps the water hot all the time, so you don't get that cold water sandwiching on it. Excuse me. If you don't have a return line in there, Navien actually makes a thing called a Navi-Circ that goes underneath the furthest fixture away.
Okay.
And you'll set it up on the through the settings on the heater to make this work. It's kind of like, I don't know if you remember the old Grundfos valves that they used to make.
Yes.
That you put it's kind of like that.
Okay.
It works in the same thing. So you don't always need to run a return line on it.
Right.
And that also helps out with it. The best thing to do, if you can, I know you can't open up walls all the time and ceilings and everything, is to have a recirc line, though.
Right. That's ideal, depending on how long the run is. But realistically, though, when you're installing these, you just want to be able to, again, I always say it comes down to proper assessment of what you have, and proper sizing, and knowing what you're dealing with this particular unit that you're buying, so you know the differences and what to expect. But I will tell you, the negatives are way minor. I mean, the positives are so much better than the negatives when you compare the tank to tankless. I mean, there's obviously the cost is different. We're going to get into that after a little bit later in the show. But I mean, they're phenomenal. I love them. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick break, and then on the other side of the break, we're going to talk with Debbie Luscombe from State Farm
USA. Welcome back. Your dreams were your
Welcome back to the Prepare to Repair Show. I am your host, Steve Suarez with RJ Graham Plumbing, and I've got here with me, I got Brian Drafke with Metropolitan Industries, and I want to welcome to the show a really great person, awesome insurance agent with State Farm. Her name is Debbie Luscombe, and I am going to introduce her, and then I'm going to tell my experience and why I wanted to have her on here and why she's such a great person. Debbie, say hi to everybody.
Hi there. Thank you.
Don't be nervous. Debbie was like, I don't want to be nervous. I'm afraid I'm going to, I'm nervous. I'm like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I'm not sitting here on the microphone with him.
Exactly. And
you're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
So, and my husband said, don't worry, Steve will do all the talking for you.
Yeah, I do. I'm a yappy one. I mean, listen, like I said, if you ever have any kind of insecurities about doing the show, just listen to the first 2 shows that I did. Maybe the first 3. So I was definitely coming into my own at some point there. So, but I wanted to tell everyone about my experience with you, and obviously I've done work with for you and for your husband John, and you guys have been great. And you reached out to me via an email, just telling us how great our trucks looked, and if there was anything that we could do as far as insurance. You were a State Farm agent, and if there was anything that you can do, you'd like to be of help. And I sent an email back thanking you, and I said, we're pretty good right now. And lo and behold, I want to say probably maybe 8 months later, I had an issue. My wife got into a car accident, and I was getting very poor service with what I was with. And I reached out to Debbie, and she says, let me see what I can do. And from that point on, it was like it got into the hands of somebody who says, all right, I've got this. I'm taking control. And it was a very difficult and very frustrating situation, but I had it in the hands of a professional who really took control of it. And that's why I want to thank you, because it was frustrating. It was, it was a pretty bad, collision. I mean, my wife was okay, but the truck had some damage to it. It was just overall frustrating experience. And I found out a lot of stuff about my insurance that I didn't have proper coverage. They didn't put me down right, which she went through and evaluated and got me where I needed to be. So I just want to let you know you guys at the office, we love you. You guys are great. Your whole team that you have there has been phenomenal. You guys have all of our business, and it comes down to getting the job done. I
really appreciate that. I told you the reason why we are as good as we are here is because of the team that I have between Ely and Jill, and I have a new team member, Lisa. I have an amazing team here, so thank you.
I think we're all, just same with mine, and even Brian, you're only as good as the people you work with.
Over at Metropolitan, I have a great service team.
Oh,
the guys on the inside, even my outside guys.
You've got to be. I mean, you have to have a team effort in order to get what you need to get done. And honestly, I mean, you see it just with a lot of things. Oftentimes, you're never good individually as you are collectively.
Correct.
And because you can't get everything done as much as you'd like to. So I wanted to talk to you, like I said, I wanted to tell you about my experience, and plus the evaluation of coverage. And I had a couple people that were in over the last few shows, and they were restoration people. And they were just, I was kind of almost thinking I was putting the cart before the horse, where it's like, okay, when you have these are people who came in after there was an issue or a loss, or, shouldn't we be getting in touch with somebody who is going to help you prepare and be prepared for any issues that you may have? And that's why I wanted to, give you a shout out at preliminary, because I'm going to have to, I've got so much information that we need to discuss, Debbie, that we're going to have a whole show with you on it. But I wanted to introduce the audience to you, and what a great person that you are, and what a great office you guys have over there in Homer Glen.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So, I mean, what I'd say that, real quick, what would be the first, evaluation would be one of the, I would say, top priorities, right? When you have a customer coming in, or just you reevaluate even present customers?
Well, we always, even as soon as we write somebody, we give them the expectation. Okay, so every year we're going to call you. We're going to ask you, do you want to come in? Do you want to talk on the phone to go over all your policies? Make sure everything is up to date, because everybody's lives change. From year to year, you have a new driver, somebody went away to college, or, et cetera. So we set the expectation out immediately, and, it's up to them if they, don't have time this year or whatever, nothing's changed. Then we just always pend it and call them again next year. But it's really important to stay on top of that, because that's where it can get away from you if you don't do that on a regular basis.
Well, if you're underinsured or not insured properly, you don't want to find out when, something happens
Right.
Okay, well, here's...
Come claim time, it's too late, for sure.
Exactly. And there's plenty of insurance companies out there that are cheaper and do that, and that's great. But you usually find out come claim time where that price difference comes. And,
right.
When they say you get what you pay for. So...
Right.
And I wanted to ask you another little thing, because we're have a little bit of time here. But I wanted to ask you, now is the time. This is the season where you have the rain, you have the cold, you have all these little things that happen to people's homes, and you will have people that will possibly be coming door to door and saying, all this crazy stuff, and they'll make up stuff. I mean, it's crazy. And there's always warnings. You see them out there, warnings. Okay, well, be careful of people coming door to door after rains, after storms, after, whatever the case may be. Now, as homeowners, and, they don't know. They get people coming. What is you recommend, even as just somebody who's been in the business for so long, what do you recommend, people when they're coming there? Do you just do you tell them? What would you tell them?
We always say if somebody's canvassing your neighborhood, it's probably not a good thing. It's in their best interest, not your best interest. We always ask our clients, if somebody is doing this and you're approached and you're not sure what to do, give us a call and we'll talk you through it. Do you have damage or not? And as opposed to just letting them file a claim for you and then come to find out there isn't any damage at all, and then there's a claim against you. And that's unfortunate because a lot of people fall for those tactics. So in the annual review that we do, we go through that little scenario and explain to people what they need to do. Always give us a call. We're always here to talk about it.
I have a question for you. Do you guys referral people?
Do we what?
Do you guys have referrals for people in the area for restoration if something does happen at their house?
Oh, yeah.
Is there anybody you recommend?
Well, there's usually, we can't just give them one. We give them like 2 or 3, and then they call whoever they want. But, yeah, absolutely. We always have restorations companies stopping by and dropping off their brochures, et cetera.
And the only reason I asked that is because my neighbor actually got duped into one of those.
Oh, wow.
And come to find out that there actually was... They came in and did a rush fix and then took off and they didn't fix the whole problem. That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
So, my first call would be, and this is just me, my first call would be to my insurance company.
Right.
Right off the bat, I need to know what's happening here. What do I need to do? Because if I'm going to my insurance company, I would probably rather them tell me which way to go rather than me take steps that I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then come to find out there's maybe something that a procedure I should have followed and I didn't.
Right.
And if I don't follow it, then I'm putting myself at risk. When this is something that you have agents that are like that, and having an agent such as you and your team that are responsive, that's huge. Mm-hmm. That's huge. So if people want to get in touch with you and any of you or any of your great agents over there at State Farm in Homer Glen, how would they reach out to you?
Well, our phone number is 708-301-1512, and my email is Debbie@DebbieOnBell.com because I'm on Bell.
Fantastic. And now I was going through all this stuff because we're kind of running out of time here, but I have this information that you sent me here that is a whole show of information. It's house fire, protecting your home from damage, water in basement, your homeowner's insurance, what is it? I mean, the list goes on and on of things that we have to talk about, winterizing. And so I am going to, and hopefully your jitters are out, and then I can have you sit in here with me and we can talk this, because I'm sure that a lot of homeowners have a ton of information regarding this. Especially coming, with winter coming around. And yeah, there's important steps to take to secure your property for sure. Okay, so is it safe to assume I can snag you before the maybe the end of the month here? I know we're closing in, or maybe early December to get you in here before it gets too cold. Sure. All right. Let me know. Fantastic. Loved having you on. Thank you. You sounded great. You did great. Steve. And again, she is phenomenal. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. Take care. All right. Coming up after the break, we're going to talk more about water heaters and ion pump, tankless water heaters and ion pumps. USA. Welcome back. Your dreams were Welcome back to the Prepare to Repair show. I am your host, Steve Suarez, with RJ Graham Plumbing. And we're back here with Brian Drafke with Metropolitan Industries. And I love Debbie. She's our State Farm agent. She's phenomenal, and she does a great job. I can't wait to have her on again. So she was phenomenal. So I wanted to talk to you. We're going to obviously talk a little bit more about tankless heaters, because this, like I said, this is something I'm trying to do in one show, which is probably something you can't. Now, the thing that when I say sizing on these things, and we talk about sizing on these things, when people out there that are looking. Mm-hmm. So those of you out there that are looking to get a tankless water heater and you want to change over from your tank, One, have it assessed. Have your home assessed by a licensed plumbing company that can do it. One, these units are too expensive to play around with, to have somebody, that, my cousin or somebody has seen these or done these, or, he works for a heating and cooling company or whatever the case may be. You want to get somebody who's even some plumbing companies, they don't do them. You want to get somebody who specializes in doing these things so you get them done properly.
Correct.
That is the main
100%.
thing. Now, when we talk about sizing, okay, that's the key thing, and installation. Now, let's hit those. Those are the two things that, even if we don't hit anything else today,
right,
I want to hit those. I want to dwell on those things because the sizing of them is you have to know what these are going to do.
Correct.
So most of these units, the bigger units, are 199,900 BTUs, and the gallons per minute is 9.5 gallons per minute.
Whoa!
But usually that's what they have them rated.
Now that's at, like, if you're in Arizona, California, or something like that. Usually out here,
it's at, what is it, a 50? Is it a 50-degree temperature rise? Is that what they have it rated?
Higher than that. So out here, you're going to have.
No, I'm talking about that 9.5 gallon per minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Illinois and your cold states, wintertime, we go by coldest time of the year.
Right.
Your incoming water temperature is going to be about 45 degrees.
Right.
So we're set at 110, 120. You're going to get about 5 to 5.5 gallons a minute out of any tankless water heater out here. Navian's got some of the highest flow rates out there on them. And it's usually good for about a 2.5 bath. One unit to 240A is what we tell a lot of guys to put in.
Right.
Our surrounding areas, maybe the listening area, here is going to be usually one heater. But now what happens is you get a house that has, say, a shower with body sprays in it. And you're going to size these things. The good thing to do would be take whatever you have as far as GPM in the house. Just say that you're going to run 2 showers and a dishwasher.
Okay, let me kind of give some information on GPMs. GPMs, for homeowners that don't know, your gallons per minute is your water coming out of your faucet. So your GPMs, give you an example, your lav sink is probably like 1.5 gallons, maybe 2 gallons. Your kitchen sink is probably like 2 gallons. Your shower, what are we looking at, 2.5 out of a shower?
Yeah, unless you got low flow.
Yeah.
Gallon and a half, but
your tub filler that you'd have for your jacuzzi type tub, that's going to probably be about 6 to 8 gallons per minute, depending.
I've seen them as high as 12.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, they're up there. So, I mean, now once you start, you got to look at the demand you're going to have for that. So, that's going to dictate what you do on it. So, when you're putting in that tankless water heater, you have to understand what it's going to give you. Now, what does that mean for a tank? Oh, well, I might as well just go back with a tank. Okay. The gallons per minute are not going to stop. It's going to be the same thing.
It's going to be the same regardless if it's tank or tank.
Right. You just have whatever water you have there, and it runs out. The tankless water heater will just give you the endless water based on the flow rate that your demand that you have.
Right.
Now, the temperature rise is the difference between the incoming temperature and desired water temperature.
Set temperature, yes.
And that's where that BTUs, the high BTUs, kicks in to get it from the incoming temperature to desired temperature.
Right.
So, and that's where we get into installation. Now, these things need fuel. Yeah. Your average tank water heater, if it's a 40 or 50 gallon, is probably around 36 to 40,000 BTUs.
Right.
75 gallons going to be about 75,000 BTUs. So now it's got you're going from that rating to a 199,000 BTUs, so it needs more fuel. Now, in order to need more fuel, it's got to breathe. So it needs to have incoming air in order to burn that fuel.
Correct.
And it needs to exhaust. I see people putting they exhaust outside, which they can because they're in a direct vent like that.
Right.
They could do that, but they let them get their incoming air. I've seen these incoming air from the basement, and that's not going to work.
It will work if you have a full open basement, but your efficiencies go down.
Yeah.
But as people finish basements and stuff like that, the mechanical rooms get a lot smaller.
Can't breathe.
They can't breathe.
So
the best thing to do is to pull your makeup air from outside.
Correct.
not only is it run better, your efficiency is better too.
Oh, absolutely.
On it, and that's what a lot of people. It's going to take me 2 extra hours to put this or this intake here. It doesn't matter. Just do it the right way.
You need this to run top efficiency and to run the best it can in order for the product to do it. How many times have you run into products where it's like, I bought this product and it didn't do what I thought it would do? Well, and then you come to find out, well, one, it wasn't installed right, or it wasn't used right, or there was other things that you did not use it as it was designed to be used or installed the way it was designed to be installed. And the reason why we're talking about, like I said, installation and sizing is I've gotten calls from people who found tankless water heaters I got this at a really good price. It was a 150 or 160,000 BTU, and it was like 5 to 7 gallons per minute. I'm like, you put this in, you're going to be one of those people who are angry about tankless water heaters and say how bad they are when this isn't going to help you.
Because it didn't perform the way that the individual that sold it to them.
Right.
So sizing water heaters is number one. I always get the common thing I ask a lot of guys out there is ask the homeowner what they're expecting when you're sizing a water heater. Just say that we need 10 gallons a minute in a house, just for easy math.
Okay.
We're going to take about 70% of that is going to be the hot water side on it. Guys will put one unit in. It doesn't work. The homeowner hates it because they think it's the unit when they weren't educated the right way.
Right.
And you've already sit there and you told them, and you may need 2 units on it, which can be done. You can get the higher flow rate, but we can get into that later. But educating the homeowner and asking them exactly what they're expecting should be the number one thing. Number 2 is going to installation on it. It used to be with the older Navians, it doesn't happen anymore because they got a Venturi system in them that pulls the gas through them, is all the installations in the summertime, everything worked great. Going in the wintertime when the furnace and everything else is getting turned on in the house, appliances start acting up now.
Right.
And it's not working the way that it was. So gas sizing is another thing to do, the right piping, the right size, everything like that too.
Right. And I've run into multiple plumbing inspectors when we were on a site, and they would look at a tankless water heater and they say, okay, good, you ran 1 inch all the way to the unit, and you only have yourself maybe around less than a foot or so of or 18 inches of 3/4.
Right.
And this way, you're pretty much assuring yourself enough fuel for that to run, which is, you want to make sure that's done. But when we talk about flow rate, like you said about body sprays, I ran into a home that had, when we got there, they had 2 50-gallon power vent water heaters, and they were around 50,000 BTUs. And one of the bathrooms had 8 body sprays, 2 regular shower heads, a rain shower head, and a wand. Now, that right there was blowing out probably close to 13 to 14 gallons per minute.
Right.
Okay, just on that bathroom. And they had another one upstairs like that. So you needed to have a couple of units in there to be able to do that. Because what's cool about having the multiple units is it will run, was it 70%, I believe?
Yeah, it'll go up to about 70%, and then it'll come down, and 2 of them will come on, and they'll even themselves out and give you the water that you need, depending on demand.
Right.
Very rarely have I ever seen them go into high fire.
Yeah, they don't. I ran all of it, and I ran that shower, and I had some other stuff in that bathroom, and it kept up with the flow, and I never heard, because you can hear it like engage, almost like a hot rod, like it's when it goes from your first gear, your second gear, as you start turning on water, as it really starts trying to keep up with the demand, you'll have. I'm waving my hand like in different levels, like people can see me, but it starts engaging into that and getting higher BTUs as the flame. It's giving more energy to heat the water up to keep up with demand, but it doesn't get like that with the 2 units. But you want to make sure that when these are being installed, that you're getting the right ones. And they are more expensive than a tank water heater. For now. But I mean, tank water heaters are, because you're going like for like, are going to be, they're going to be more cost effective than that, because it's, it's a swap. But once you make the changeover, these units last, they last about 25 years on them. And you don't have water sitting in a tank. If you flush these out and you maintain them yearly, they will last. They will last for, and the repairs on them.
See, what a lot of people don't understand too is you've been in the plumbing industry for how long?
Yeah, 20 years.
Oh, no, I got to service a tankless water heater every year.
Yeah.
What homeowners don't really know is tank-type water heaters are supposed to be flushed once a year.
Yearly as well.
Yeah, but nobody ever does that.
Well, because on the sticker it says self-cleaning on some of these.
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
before.
they have that self-clean. Yeah. But again, it's a false sense of security because it has the roto swirl or whatever. Different ones have different models of that's supposed to help it. But honestly, it's like I would make sure that and even when we do tank water heaters on our installs, on our tank water heaters, what we do is we include a flush. For each of the 6 years of the warranty, a flush and inspection, just to make sure these are going good, and to keep them going. With the tankless units that we put in, we include a flush every year just to make sure that they're operational, keep them going. So, at worst, they're getting flushed out in the first 5 years or 6 years of life. You've got a head start.
Right.
At best, homeowners see how we're doing it. They either have keep us up, keep up with us doing it, or B, they do it themselves.
Right.
Which they're not really that hard. They can do it. It's within, if you're somewhat mechanical, it's within the wheelhouse of most homeowners. So it's definitely something they can do, and it's part of the spring maintenance. So they're definitely there. Like I said, we blew through this time like that, and it's like we didn't even get the pumps. But what would be something you wanted to add on tankless water heaters as far as that? Because I've been yapping about them.
No, that's all right. Service kits for flushing out the systems. Some guys don't install them. I don't know why they don't. I don't know how much money it actually saves them. Or
it doesn't.
But service kits. I mean, if you think about it, if something goes wrong with the heater, you got to yank it or work on it. You got to shut the whole house down.
Right.
If you don't have a service kit on there. Absolutely put service kits on there. Only for when you're maintaining the water heater, flushing it once a year, you've got that. And if something goes wrong with the unit too, you can turn it off right underneath it. You don't have to shut the whole house down.
Right. And the service kits are a valve kit underneath the heater that allows you to turn off the water to the unit while allowing valves to flush any water through or to drain the unit out to work on it individually. Now, I've been to many houses that have had tankless water heaters installed in the past, and I'll get them where it's, this thing is 10 or 12 years old. I want to get it flushed. I see no service ports on it. I said, when was the last time this was serviced? Oh, it was serviced about 3 years ago. No, it wasn't. Tell you right now, it wasn't. Yeah. How are you going to do it? There was nothing there to work with. That one right there, not to sound bad, but that's a replacement.
Oh, yeah.
Because it gets gummed up. And, those sensors are getting gummed. It's no way it's working at optimum efficiency.
No. And
you can't do anything with it. That's why the service kits are so important to the lifespan of these tankless water heaters.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one thing that is definite on those as far as service kits. Now, warranties.
1 year labor, 5 year parts, and 15 on the heat exchanger.
Okay.
One of the best warranties out there.
Okay. Now, what we do with them, and this is why our warranties, what we do at RJ Graham Plumbing is I take the headache, the hassle, the gray area, the finger pointing. I take it out of there. I installed this. You called me to install it. We installed this. So there's no, the manufacturer covered this, call them. We will take it up to, it's a 5 year on parts. We will back it with a 5 year labor warranty, which will cover any repairs or manufacturer cover repairs or replacements. We'll cover the labor on it. So they're covered on it.
That's pretty good.
And obviously anything beyond that, that's our warranty on it. The reason why we do that is because we want to make sure that there's no gray area on it. You just make one phone call.
Right.
And also we do flushes on it because we want to make sure this thing operates. We don't want this thing to last 5 years. We want it to last, 25 years. We want you to get the full maximum life out of it. We do that similar with our tank water heaters. We guarantee the same for the warranties, manufacturer warranty on the tank. And we give it a yearly flush. We want these to last past 6 years. We want you to get 12 to 15 years out of them. We also want you to call us for other stuff rather than the same thing over and over again. Yeah. So, but I as far as their warranties, they've been great. as far as on my end from a service point of view, one of the things I want to mention that we talked about off the air is I had a unit that we installed, or not installed, that it was installed by the previous homeowner just before they sold, and the homeowners that live there now live there about 8 years. And this tank, it was a smaller model that only covered this bathroom that they had an addition on. Rest of the house ran off another tank, and it had an issue. So I call up Navien and I give them the model, serial number, everything that they need. And they tell me it wasn't registered. I'm like, oh, okay. I go, I don't know. I just, coming on here to try and repair it. They said that this was there when they bought it. It was brand new when they bought the house. He goes, let me check it out. Taps the little thing on his computer. He goes, I'm going to register it for it. I'm going to register it for you now. So, okay, great. They're going to love that. Gave them the homeowner's information. All right, it needs a board. It needs, going to upgrade a couple sensors here, and you should be all good. I go, okay, well, let me know what the cost is. And like, no, we're just going to cover it.
How long did it take you to get those parts, too?
I got them, what was it? I want to say, because it was late that day, I got it not the next day, but the following day.
Yeah, it's usually if you get it at the right time before they can ship it, you get it the next day.
Yeah.
No, Navian's service when you call in is bar none the best I've ever dealt with.
The fact that they did that, they didn't have to cover that. They didn't.
Yeah.
It was well out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've went out to job sites where there's been installation errors or whatnot, and we thought it was a Navian issue. And the first thing I do when I call in there, and it really doesn't matter unless it's like 6 or 7 years old, because they got serial numbers. They track every serial number that's on them, so they usually know. Well, they know when they were sold to a wholesaler distributor. So that'll get them around a good time. Because, everybody goes through Navian so fast.
Correct.
It's hard to keep them in stock, especially now.
Right.
But when you call in and give them model number, serial number, they could tell you when it got shipped to the wholesaler. And it could be a couple months between it. They really take care of everybody on the warranties.
Absolutely.
On stuff, which is really good. And I can sit here and ramble on all day about this, too.
I love them. I think they're fantastic.
But, yeah, the when you call into Navian, they got the greatest people there. I mean, they get stuff done so fast. Even for me, if I call in, I'm just a rep for them, not a contractor. But they take care of everybody really well.
Well, I like because on these units, you can dial them in for well water applications. You can time how much you want your recirc pump. If you got a recirc line, you can time how often you want that to engage.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you know this or not, if you've ever played with it, but it's got I got to remember what the name of it is. It's got a smart thing on it where it'll learn what you do throughout the week.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm kind of having a air bubble in my head here trying to remember what it was called. But yeah, within like 2 weeks, it'll learn itself and know what you do every day, and it'll have a hot water to you every time if you have a recirc line.
Okay.
If you don't have a recirc line, of course, it's not going to be able to do that.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much stuff that this unit does. I mean, I had an issue with one, and I wanted to see if it was the shower or the fixture or the unit. So I turned on the bathtub, the tub filler up on the second floor. So as I turn this up, I can watch. I kicked it over, and I'm watching the gallons per minute. And I knew I was having an issue with my flow sensor on the unit because I could see the tank, or not the tank, I could see the actual reading on my gallons per minute on the unit. Oh, yeah. It went from 5, because it was like a 5 gallon per minute. It's like, I'm sorry, like a 5.8 gallon per minute on the hot side of this tub filler, of this faucet. It was like 5.8 gallons per minute. I see it going from 5 to 4 to 3 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 4 to 3. It was just going, rotating all over. And I contacted Navian, and they sent me out a part, and I was able to get them back up and running in a day or so. I mean, it never went down. We were able to make sure they had hot water through that time, but it was just, you're able to see exactly what's going on with the unit just by that keypad. It's that good, and they're that smart to be able to diagnose the issues that they have.
Yeah, especially the new ones. It's got the controller, right? I mean, I just go in and flip dip switches when you're changing from natural gas to LP. Now you don't have to do any of that anymore. It's all push button.
Yes.
When you
yes.
put them in, it's a lot smarter. It even asks you, did you put the orifice in for LP?
That's
yes
awesome.
or no?
These are phenomenal. I mean, they've gotten so smart. Now, Brian, we're running out of time, and we, like I said, we blew through this hour really quick. I got to have you on again because we got to talk about these ion pumps, especially there. So we're going to make a point to talk again. And you're from Metropolitan Industries.
Yep.
You sell mostly to contractors, but I wanted to have you on here because you are
Mostly? No,
Yeah.
we sell only to contractors.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We want, even with the Navian, those you can't buy online.
Right.
If you do find one online, it doesn't have a warranty.
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of people knew that. We only sell to contractors. We want professionals installing our equipment on both sides. And that's it.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you being on the show. Thank you. And also, I want, don't forget to call or text us at RJ Graham for all your plumbing and sewer needs at area code 708-743-7426. We offer free estimates and apples-to-apples price match guarantee. And we also have a money-back satisfaction guarantee. Call today to schedule your risk-free appointment. And I want to thank all of our guests and everyone listening today. We hope we were informative and possibly a bit entertaining. Feel free to reach out. Any questions, comments, or information on our Prepare to Repair website. From there, you can access previous shows and get